Okay, now I've got my acoustic guitar here, and I'm going to teach you the caged chord formula, C-A-G-E-D. So you're going to learn all of those chords. And the reason I've chosen the acoustic guitar to show you this is because you can take these chords alone and write entire songs with your acoustic or your electric, but they sound particularly nice on the acoustic because of the nice warm sound, and you hear them all the time in hymns, you'll hear them in rock and roll songs, you'll hear them in blues songs, these same chords, and a lot of times they'll be played on the acoustic. That's why I've chosen the acoustic for this example. Okay, now that we have some of the basics down, you know how to tune your guitar, you know what size strings you need, you know what position your hands need to be in when you're playing, you know how to hold a pick. What I'd like to do now is just to go ahead and give you a few chords that you can just start playing, because I want to get you to playing as quickly as possible. Now, you're not going to necessarily know or understand the chord progressions I'm going to give you, or even what a chord progression is, but that's okay right now. All you need to know is how to form the chord, and then I'm going to give you a yellow brick road that you can follow and go ahead and start playing immediately, tonight, today. So the first chord I'm going to give you is a G chord, and the G chord is formed by, the first one I'm going to give you is actually a partial G, and all you've got to do is hold down the first string on the 3rd fret, okay, and then you're going to strum all 4 strings. So I'm playing the 4th string, the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st. And that's going to give me my, it's a partial G chord, okay? Now the next chord I'm going to show you is actually a C chord, and you form it by placing your first finger, 2nd string on the 1st fret. Okay. Then your 2nd finger, which is your middle finger, is going to go on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Your 3rd finger is going to go on the 5th string, 3rd fret. And then this string and this string are open. And you don't want to play the 6th string. Don't want, because it'll sound like this. But if I mute it, there's my C chord. Now let's go to the A chord. You're going to form the A chord by having your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and your 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. So basically I'm just holding down these 3 strings, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, right here on the 2nd fret. And this is kind of a difficult one. You can either make it like this, or you can, if it's more comfortable for you, you can switch these 2 fingers and make it like this. Whichever is more comfortable. That's going to be a hard one to hold down when you're first starting out, but keep practicing and you'll get it. And you're going to strum everything from the 5th string all the way down. You get a nice A major chord. Okay? So there's our A major chord. Now to make the entire G, what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the 3rd fret, 6th string, 2nd fret, 5th string. Then these are open, meaning you're not going to fret these. And then you're going to hold down that top string, or your E string, or your 1st string on the 3rd fret as well. And then you're going to strum all the strings, and they're going to sound like this. Now let's do E. Your E is going to have your 1st finger, 1st fret on the 3rd string, the 4th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, and your 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger. And then you're going to play all, just rake down all of the strings. Now let's do D. Your D chord is going to be the top string or your E string or your 1st string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger. Your 2nd string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger. And your 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1st finger. And then you're going to play your 5th and 4th strings open. There's your D chord. So you did G, C, A, D, and E. Now you'll notice that if you kind of rearrange those chords, you're going to get, you can spell the word caged, C-A-G-E-D, and that's an easy way to remember those chords, C-A-G-E-D. And you can form a ton of songs with just those chords alone. And now I'm going to give you some progressions, and you don't know what that word means just yet, but you will. But for right now, let's just consider a progression, a way of putting certain chords together so that they form a melody or a harmony. So the first one I'm going to give you is G, and then go to D, then go to C, and back to D. So if I'm just playing these in no particular rhythm, it'll sound like this. Now what I want you to do is, switching from chord to chord is going to be difficult, so just go at your own speed right now. But eventually you'll be able to play these and you can make up your own rhythms. So let me give you an example of a particular rhythm that you might like. So I'm just going to G, D, C, D, G. Okay? So that's one chord progression that you can play around with. The second one I'm going to give you starts with D, goes to A, goes to G, and back to A, and back to D. So D, A, G, A, D. So here's the way that they would sound if I was not playing them in any particular rhythm. So here's another example of how you could play around with this and improvise and make up your own rhythms. Okay, next I'm going to give you a very simple progression, which is just C, G, C. So you remember our C chord? Then I'm going to take it to G, and then go back to C. So here's a way that you might be able to improvise with. See, that's just two simple chords, and I just changed up the rhythm a little bit, and I've got a song. Okay, the last one I'm going to give you is A, which goes to E, which goes to D, back to E, A. So, let's see, maybe something like this. So now with just those simple chords, you can mix and match those, use those progressions and make up your own songs, and you've only been playing guitar for maybe a few weeks, or maybe just got your guitar yesterday.